The thing that will accelerate your growth and your progress and your success the most as you grow your coaching business is not having the perfect strategy or the best social media presence or the most beautiful branding. It's your mindset. And specifically, it's the mindset that helps you take consistent, bold action, even when it feels uncomfortable. So today I'm diving into 6 mindset shifts that will help you move forward with momentum and see results and success in your business sooner. Welcome to the Life First Coaching Business Podcast, where ambitious, purpose-led coaches trade hustle and burnout for simplicity, freedom, and clients who light them up. I'm Leonie, ex-architect and business owner turned business coach. I'm also a mama, a foodie, and a travel lover, and just a little bit obsessed with online business strategy. If you're craving a business that feels spacious, joyful, and actually fun, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll be diving into the strategies, the systems, and the mindset you need to make your coaching business work for you. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to today's episode. This is a mindset episode. I tend to think of my episodes as either being strategy focused, systems focused, or mindset focused. So those are the 3 pillars that I talk about in my content. And the mindset ones are always the ones where I'll get more comments or DMs or people getting in touch with me about what they've heard. So I know they tend to always hit a bit of a nerve or open up your thinking. So I hope today is going to be a really helpful one. What I've done is picked out the 6 mindset shifts that I know have made the biggest difference to me and make the biggest difference to the coaches I work with, giving you lots of actionable tips and not just telling you what the mindset shifts are, but how you can actually take action towards making these shifts and then seeing the results of these changes in the way that you're approaching your business. So let's dive into them. Shift number 1 is all about the idea of waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. And what I've noticed time and time again in my business journey is that the times when my business has moved on the most is when I've decided to take the leap into something that I really don't feel ready for. And I think if you can approach readiness as a decision rather than a feeling that you're waiting for, and know that confidence will show up after you take the action and not before, you will move forward in your business so much sooner than waiting to feel ready. And the way that you can take action on this is just to choose one step. Choose the next step that you want to take in your business journey. If you're just at the start of launching, maybe that is putting your first post up on social media or setting up your social media profile or sending a message to some people in your current network, letting them know what you're doing. Whatever it is, decide on a specific step and give yourself a deadline and actually to decide, I don't feel ready, but I'm going to take that action anyway. And if you can cultivate this kind of mindset, whenever there's something that you're thinking, I know I need to take this step, or I know this step is going to help me grow quickest, but I don't feel ready for it, just catch yourself and think, no, ready is a decision. I'm going to plan the steps to take this action. I'm going to give myself a deadline and I'm going to do it even when it feels uncomfortable. The more you can practice that like it's a muscle, the easier it gets to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So that's a really big one. Decide to be ready instead of waiting to be ready. And number 2 is something I talk about a lot, perfectionism. It's something that's plagued me for a lot of my career and business life in the early days. And I sometimes jokingly call myself a recovering perfectionist, but perfectionism is procrastination in a fancier outfit. It's just a way of holding you back and stopping you from taking action when you feel like you are spending too long finessing things, perfecting things, polishing them before you're putting them out. This really will slow you down. And putting pressure on yourself to have this thing you're putting out into the world, whether it's your offer, your website, your social media content, if you're putting pressure on yourself for that to be perfect before you put it out, it's really going to slow you down. And it's also going to make it really not fun running your business. It definitely takes the fun out of it because you're overanalyzing everything, you're questioning everything, you're second guessing yourself. But when you decide that things are more of an experiment rather than needing to get things perfect first time, you will grow so much more quickly and adopt a mindset of thinking things need to be 70, 80% there, and then they're ready to go out into the world. Because it's definitely that last 20% where you're really going to get stuck in overthinking and tweaking, and instead look at everything as an experiment and as a test. Of course, you want things to be high quality that you're putting out there, but perfect is another myth, just like feeling ready. Nothing will ever feel perfect, particularly if you're a high achiever and you put big expectations on yourself. You'll never reach that point of perfect. This can show up not just in the kind of visual things that you're putting out to clients, but actually in your strategy, in thinking, I need this offer strategy to be perfect. I need this niche strategy to be perfect, as though you can't ever go back and change and refine things. So treating it as an experiment and thinking, I'm going to put some work into this. I'm going to get it to 80% there. And then I'm going to put it out and I'm going to collect data and see what happens and learn from that, and not see it as a failure if it doesn't land or you don't get the results you hoped for, but actually see it as data collection, see it as learning, and see it as your jumping off point to then refine and improve as you go. Progress over perfection, always. Having that mindset of experimentation in your business is really going to help you to move forward more quickly, to learn more quickly, and also to enjoy the process, because you're just taking the pressure off yourself for things to be perfect and instead thinking, how can I enjoy this? How can I have fun with it? How can I add value? How can I make an impact? How can I connect with my ideal clients today? And see it as much more of messy action that is all about learning and having fun and enjoying the process and refining as you go. Now, shift number 3. This mindset shift is about getting rid of the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is a big thing when it comes to growing a business. Now, I'm not saying that we can get rid of the fear of judgment, full stop. I think we all feel it at times, that fear of putting yourself out there, worrying what other people are thinking, and feeling like the spotlight is on you. The interesting thing about this is that most people aren't fearing the judgment of their potential clients and the people they're actually showing up for. They're fearing the judgment of peers and friends and family who have nothing to do with their business. So it's really interesting when you dig into where that's coming from. And of course, it's just like with any of these things, it's our brain trying to keep us safe, trying to keep us in a place of comfort rather than jumping into the unknown and feeling vulnerable that you're doing something different. So a way to approach this is to really try and focus in on that ideal client you have and asking what would genuinely help that person today. Showing up and talking on your social media or posting something about your business. Those are the things that are going to really help you to move forward in your business. And if the fear of what other people are thinking when they see things to do with your business is holding you back, that shift of just really focusing in on how you can make an impact on that ideal client today, that person who you're there for, who you're showing up for, and trying to switch off the noise of what other people might be thinking. And if it's really holding you back from putting yourself out on social media, if that's what you want to do in your business, then you can block people. There's nothing to say that you can't do that, so that you can feel comfortable showing up until you've got through that phase of it feeling uncomfortable. And then you might decide, I can unblock people now, but don't feel like you have to show up for those people that aren't your ideal clients. That's not what your business is about. And you get to decide who can see your stuff, who can follow your stuff. And if there's certain people that you don't want seeing it, then that's your prerogative to block the content from them. That's not who you're showing up for. And if it helps you take action, then anything to move your business forward, that's your goal, then do it. And focus on that one person who needs to hear your message. Okay, and then shift number 4 is to help you get over comparison. Comparison that might creep in, that's telling you things like, why would they buy from me when they could buy from this other coach who's way more established than I am? And why will my business work when there's all these other people already doing it successfully? There isn't room for me. What more can I add to the the table. Is that the saying? What more can I add to the table? Anyway, comparison is a big one, and it can really hold you back, particularly, again, when it comes to building your business online and in the social media space. There's a lot of noise. And what will happen, particularly when you first set up your business and you start following content to do with what you do, suddenly you'll be seeing more and more content about the thing that you do and your area of coaching. And you'll feel like it's really saturated, when actually it's just that you're in a bit of a bubble when it comes to the subject matter that you are talking about. So you've really got to take away the fact that your worth and your place in the industry is only based on the number of years of experience that you have. And instead see your place as being the fact that you are you, and you are a unique coach, and you will be the right person for your right people. And this is a way for you to connect with them and find them. And by getting clear on your own identity as a coach, your personal brand, your values, your points of view, the way that you work with your clients, and bringing that through in your content and in your marketing is really going to help you stand out. It's going to help you reach your ideal clients. And it's not about adding to the noise. It's about connecting with the right people for you and knowing that there's enough to go around for everyone. So again, that comparison can sit alongside scarcity mindset. Whereas if we know that there's enough to go around for everyone, there's enough clients to go around for all the coaches, and it's about just connecting with the right people for you and showing up as you, then the imposter syndrome can quieten down a bit, and instead you can see your place in the industry as not being based on your experience or the size of the audience you have. Everyone who is further along in the journey started exactly where you are now, and you have to always remember that. Also, if you're comparing progress with someone else, maybe there's someone else who started at the same time as you and you feel like they're further ahead. But actually knowing that everyone's situation is different, everyone's journey is different, and what they can put into their business is different. I sometimes feel that too when I see other people, but then I think they might not have children. They might not be the default parent in their relationship. They might have a lot more hours to put into their business. They might be enjoying it far less. They might be more burnt out and stressed. So you never know what someone else is going through. So everyone's situation is different. And don't get stuck in comparison to people who are much further along the journey than you, or people who are moving at a different pace than you are, because it's not about the destination. It's about the journey and enjoying it and knowing that you are moving forward, but you're doing it in a way that's sustainable and doable for you is far more important than feeling like you're in some kind of race. So let's get rid of imposter syndrome. It's only going to hold you back. Feel confident that there's room for you in your industry. There's enough clients to go around for everyone, and you only have to be a few steps ahead of your ideal clients to really be able to help them. And the fewer steps ahead you are, the more you can connect with what those people are going through, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing if you were only there a short time ago. So see the value in that as well, and know that you are qualified and you are the right coach for your right people, and there is space for you in the industry. Okay, and then shift number 5 is to focus on key milestones instead of the whole big picture of what you've got to do to get your business to where you want it to be. Because it's good to have a vision of where you want to get to, but when you are looking at that whole big picture and thinking, this is everything I've got to do, it can feel really overwhelming. And that's what I hear from a lot of new coaches, is just that overwhelm at the start of the journey of all this stuff that they feel like they need to achieve and do. Whereas if you can break it down into key milestones and choose specific plans to get you to that next milestone, then you can take away a lot of that overwhelm, and you can just focus on taking those incremental actions to get you to that next goal. So setting yourself a 30-day goal or a 90-day goal, making a plan and getting clear on what needs to happen for you to reach that next goal. And then remove that from the bigger picture, because small steps are going to move you forward, give you the momentum to know that you're getting some wins on the board. you are making progress and you're moving forward and knowing that you're moving towards that bigger picture, but you're not feeling totally overwhelmed by everything you need to do. And a key part of this is really getting clear on what's important now. If you're struggling with that, then go back to the episode I published last week on the 3 phases of your business, because something that can cause issues here with the overwhelm is trying to do things that aren't relevant to the stage of business you're in, or doing things in the wrong order and getting ahead of yourself, which is just delaying you actually seeing results in your business, actually getting to work with clients, bring income in, see some success, and know that you're moving forward. So go back to that episode, because that might help you as well to just see where you should focus now if you're right in those early stages and you're feeling overwhelmed by all the to-dos there is in launching your coaching business, because you've put so much on your plate that you need to do before you can, quote unquote, properly launch. So focus on milestones instead of mountains. And then shift number 6 is to focus on doing less, but doing it well. And this is in the context of you being a solopreneur coach that wants to create a simple, spacious, life-first business which affords you freedom and flexibility. Instead of thinking I need to do everything and be everywhere and be on all the platforms and try all the tactics and put all the content out there, which will inevitably lead you to feel burnt out, frustrated, exhausted, all the things. Focus on doing less, but doing it well, and on clarity and repetition. So getting really clear on your messaging and your marketing plan and what you need to do in order to attract your ideal clients and convert them. And then repeating that process over and over again. And then once you've got really clear on what needs to happen to turn a stranger into a buyer and then to create an amazing transformation for that buyer, then adding systems to allow lots of that to happen in the background. Again, I talk about this more in last week's episode, but that really is the foundation of a life first business, is having focus and clarity and then repetition in your business. So repurposing the same message in lots of different ways, repeating it again and again, becoming known for what you do, and knowing that doing less and doing it well is better than trying to do it all, because doing it all just leads to burnout. So I hope that 1 or 2 or even maybe all of these 6 shifts have hit something for you and helped you see where you can make some simple shifts to your actions and your beliefs and your thinking in order to move forward, make progress every day, and not get stuck in things like overthinking or second guessing, and instead have fun along the way and enjoy the journey of growing your business by taking step-by-step action, even when it feels uncomfortable. So just a recap on those 6 things. Decide that you're ready rather than waiting to feel ready. Focus on experimenting rather than perfecting. Focus on the one person you serve so that you can free yourself from the fear of judgment of people that are not your ideal clients. Focus on your identity as a coach to claim your space, your little corner of your area of coaching, and not get stuck in comparison with your peers. Focus on the milestones, not the mountains, taking incremental steps and getting you to that next phase of your business, and know that you're focusing on the right things at the right time. And focus on doing less with clarity and repetition rather than trying to do it all. So maybe just pick one of those today. Which one of those do you feel is holding you back the most? And how can you focus there in making some simple shifts and looking at the actions you can take in that area to move you forward in the next week? So as always, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you tuning in. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a quick rating and a review and share it with another coach who you know would find it helpful. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.